Chapter 1. What are limiting beliefs? Let's begin with something simple yet profound. Have you ever wanted to do something, apply for a job, start a business, speak up in a meeting, or express your feelings to someone, but something inside you whispered, "You can't"? That voice, that hesitation, that's the echo of a limiting belief. Limiting beliefs are thoughts or ideas we hold, usually subconsciously, that restrict what we believe we're capable of. They're the internal rules we live by, often without realizing it. Let me give you some real-world examples. A person might say, "I'm not smart enough to go back to school. People like me don't get rich. Relationships never work out for me. I'm too old to change. Success is for other people, not me." At face value, these statements sound like facts, but they're not. They're beliefs, and belief is not the same as truth. Beliefs are lenses, and the lens you wear changes the way you see the world. Where do these beliefs hide? Some limiting beliefs are obvious. You've probably heard yourself say them out loud. Others are sneaky. They live in your habits, your avoidance, your excuses, your procrastination. They live in how quickly you give up on things, or in how you never start at all. For example, imagine you've always wanted to write a book. But instead of sitting down to write, you clean the house, binge videos, scroll on your phone. You tell yourself you're just not in the right mindset or too tired. But under all that, there's a belief, something like, "I'm not a real writer. Who would even care what I have to say?" That's a limiting belief in disguise. How they affect your life. Limiting beliefs are like invisible walls. They block opportunities, sabotage relationships, kill confidence, and keep you stuck in a smaller version of your life. And here's the painful part. We don't just hold on to these beliefs, we look for evidence to support them. This is called confirmation bias. If you believe you're not good at something, your brain will look for proof, and ignore the times you actually did well. So even if 9 people say your business idea is great and 1 person doubts you, you'll focus on the one, because it fits the story you already believe. Let me tell you a short story. There's a famous psychological experiment involving a baby elephant. When it was young, the elephant was tied to a post with a rope. It tried to escape, but it was too small, too weak. Over time it gave up. Now here's the twist. When the elephant became an adult, massive and powerful, it still wouldn't try to escape. Why? Because it believed it couldn't. That's what limiting beliefs do. They convince you that you're still the person you were when you got hurt, when you failed, or when someone doubted you. Even if you've grown, even if you're strong enough now, you don't act because you don't believe. Reflection exercise. What's holding you back? Right now, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what's one thing I want but haven't pursued? What do I say to myself when I think about it? Is that thought helping me or holding me back? Write it down if you can. Don't judge it. Just notice. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Here's the part 1 want you to hold on to. Beliefs can change. They're not permanent. They're not facts. They're mental habits, and like any habit, they can be unlearned and replaced. Your brain is not set in stone. In the next chapters, we're going to explore where these beliefs come from, how to challenge them, and how to rewire your brain for possibility, not limitation. But for now, I want you to realize something. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts, and you have the power to choose new ones. Chapter 2. Where do limiting beliefs come from? If limiting beliefs have so much power over our lives, it's only natural to ask, where do they come from? They weren't born with us. You weren't born thinking you weren't good enough. You weren't born afraid to speak your truth or to try and fail. These beliefs are learned, and that means they can be unlearned. Let's take a deeper look. Most limiting beliefs are planted in us during childhood. You see, as children we are like sponges. We soak in everything. Not just words, but emotions, tone, body language, and reactions. If you grew up in an environment where love was conditional, where mistakes were punished, not embraced, where achievement was praised but effort was overlooked, then your brain started forming silent rules. If I'm not perfect, I'm not lovable. If I fail, I'll be rejected. If I speak my mind, I'll get hurt. I have to earn love by doing, not by being. These rules become internal beliefs, and the younger we are when we form them, the deeper they run. Let's talk science for a moment. Between the ages of 0 and 7, the human brain is mostly in a theta state, a brainwave pattern similar to hypnosis. In other words, kids are not just listening, they're being programmed. This is why your earliest experiences matter so much. If a teacher laughed when you mispronounced a word, if your parent dismissed your ideas, if a sibling constantly overshadowed you, even moments you don't consciously remember can leave powerful emotional imprints. That's not your fault. But it is your responsibility now. Now, beyond family, there's society. Our culture plays a massive role in shaping our beliefs about race, gender, money, success, love, and what's normal. We're told, men don't cry. Women shouldn't be too ambitious. Money is the root of all evil. Artists starve. You have to hustle to prove your worth. These messages don't come as direct orders. They show up in media, in casual jokes, in the way people around us behave. Slowly, without realizing it, we adopt these scripts as if they were our own. But they're not. They're inherited. You didn't choose them, they were given to you, and what was given can be returned. Sometimes, limiting beliefs don't even start in your lifetime, they can be passed down generationally. If your parents or grandparents lived through poverty, war, betrayal, or hardship, they may have developed survival-based beliefs, like, you can't trust people. Life is struggle. Play it safe. Don't expect too much. Even if your life circumstances are different, you might still carry their fears. This isn't superstition, it's epigenetics and behavioral psychology. The stress and trauma of one generation can echo through the next, until someone becomes conscious enough to break the cycle. That someone could be you. Let me share a story. Maya was a brilliant young woman, talented, kind, full of potential. But every time she had to speak in public, her throat closed up. She panicked. Her voice shook. When she traced it back, she remembered something from age 8. She had stood up to read aloud in class, excited, but the teacher mocked her accent. The class laughed. Maya didn't speak in public again for 20 years. She grew up believing, my voice is wrong. It wasn't until she consciously rewrote that belief, through therapy, journaling, and self-compassion, that she reclaimed her voice. She now speaks on stages. That's the power of understanding where our beliefs come from. Let's try something together. Take a moment. Think of a belief that holds you back. Maybe it's, I'm not good with money. Or, I always mess things up. Now ask yourself, where did I first hear or feel this? Can I remember a moment or a person connected to this belief? Is it truly mine, or did I inherit it? You may not get an answer right away. That's okay. Sometimes just asking the question begins the process of change. Once you become aware of where a belief comes from, it loses power. It's like pulling a weed out by the root. You realize, oh, this isn't the truth. It's just something I learned. And I can choose to unlearn it. That's not always easy. But it's always worth it. Because the more conscious you are of your inner programming, the more free you become to rewrite it. Chapter 3. Spotting limiting beliefs in real time. So now we understand where limiting beliefs come from: childhood, culture, generational patterns. But recognizing them in hindsight isn't enough. To truly rewire your brain, you must learn to spot these beliefs as they appear in your everyday thoughts, reactions, and behaviors. Let's dive into how to do that. Limiting beliefs rarely show up as obvious statements like, I believe I'm not good enough. Instead, they sneak in through thoughts like, why bother? This probably won't work out anyway. People like me don't get chances like that. They also hide in reactions. You procrastinate on an opportunity, not because you're lazy but because deep down you're afraid of failing. You overthink a simple email, fearing it's not perfect enough. You downplay a compliment because something inside you believes you don't deserve it. These are micro-signals of limiting beliefs at work. So the first tool to develop is self-awareness in the moment. The next time you catch yourself saying, I can't, feeling suddenly anxious or stuck, judging yourself or others harshly, pause and ask, what belief is underneath this? It might be, if I fail, people will laugh at me. If I rest, I'm lazy. If I show emotion, I'll be seen as weak. At first, this will feel like a whisper. But the more you practice, the louder it gets, until the belief becomes visible, and once it's visible, it's changeable. Think of limiting beliefs like a software glitch in your brain. They run on loops, automatic, repetitive cycles you've played for years. Example, you want to start a YouTube channel. You're excited. But suddenly you think, there are already too many creators. Who's going to watch me? That's not reality, that's a belief loop. When you believe it, you might stall, delay, or never start. And when you don't start, that reinforces the belief. See, I'm not cut out for this. This is called a self-fulfilling prophecy. So how do you break the loop? You interrupt the pattern. Awareness tool. Is this a fact or a belief? Here's a simple, powerful question. Is this a fact, or just a belief? Let's take a few examples. I'm too old to change. Belief. Not a fact. There are 70-year-olds running marathons and launching businesses. I always fail at relationships. Belief. not a fact. Maybe you've struggled in the past, but that doesn't mean you're doomed. People won't care what I have to say. Belief. And one you can't prove unless you try. Just asking this question forces your brain to slow down and observe the difference between reality and perception. And that gap, between what is and what you believe, is where change happens. One of the best tools for spotting limiting beliefs in real time is mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't just meditation, it's paying attention on purpose. When you practice mindfulness, you start catching yourself. In the moment you shrink back in fear. In the exact second you start criticizing yourself. In the quiet pause before you talk yourself out of taking action. That moment of awareness creates a gap. And in that gap, you can make a new choice. Even something as simple as breathing deeply and saying, "This is just a thought. I don't have to believe it," can shift your energy entirely. You don't have to uncover every belief at once. Start with one area of your life. Relationships, money, health, creativity. Notice your thoughts when you check your bank account, you think about dating, you step into a new challenge, you receive criticism, you compare yourself on social media. Ask, what am I telling myself in this moment? Whose voice is that? Is this voice trying to protect me or limit me? Sometimes the voice of a limiting belief sounds like a parent trying to keep you safe. That's okay. Say, "Thank you for trying to protect me, but I choose a different path now." Daniel was a talented writer. He dreamed of publishing a book. But every time he sat down to write, he felt blocked that he didn't know why, until one day he caught a thought whispering, "If I succeed, people will expect more from me. What if I can't keep it up?" That's a limiting belief, fear of success, not failure. By noticing that thought and questioning it, Daniel began to write again. He realized, the belief wasn't a fact. It was a fear, and he didn't have to obey it. Let's end this chapter with a practical tool. Every night this week, take 5 minutes and ask, what negative thought did I notice today? What belief might be behind it? Did I act on the belief, or challenge it? What new belief do I want to install instead? This isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming conscious. Because the more you can recognize limiting beliefs in real time, the faster you can step into a mindset that empowers your growth. Chapter 4. Dismantling the belief that's holding you back. So now you've caught your limiting beliefs in action. You've noticed the patterns, the hesitations, the self-doubt, the automatic thoughts. But noticing them isn't enough. Now we need to dismantle them. We need to strip these beliefs of their power so they no longer dictate your behavior, your confidence, or your potential. Let's walk through how to do that step by step. Step 1. Name the belief clearly. First, take one limiting belief you've identified. Write it down clearly as if it were a sentence someone else said to you. For example, "I'm not smart enough to succeed. I don't have what it takes. I always mess things up. People like me don't get ahead." It may feel uncomfortable to write this, but doing so externalizes the belief. It gets it out of your head and onto the page where you can observe it from a distance. Step 2. Challenge its validity. Now ask yourself, is this always true? Can I prove this belief is a fact? Where did I learn this belief? What is this belief costing me? Let's take, "I'm not smart enough to succeed." Always, or just sometimes. How do I define smart? Is success only for smart people? Have I ever succeeded before? Yes. Then this belief is flawed. Who taught me to think this way? Was it a teacher? A parent? A moment of embarrassment? And finally, what is this belief costing me? Answer: opportunities, confidence, peace of mind, self-worth. When you realize how much this belief is stealing from your life, it becomes easier to let it go. Step 3. Find the root and question it. Most limiting beliefs are rooted in a single moment, often a moment of pain, rejection, or embarrassment. For example, maybe someone laughed at your idea in school. Maybe you grew up poor and internalized beliefs about money and worth. Maybe you failed once and it became part of your identity. What was the moment that planted this belief in me? Was that moment really a reflection of my worth, or just one event? When we trace the belief to its root, we can begin to see it not as truth, but as a moment that we misinterpreted. Step 4. Flip the belief. Now it's time to replace the belief with a new, empowering statement. From, "I'm not smart enough to succeed," to, "I am resourceful and capable of learning anything I need to succeed." From, "I always mess things up," to, "I've made mistakes but I'm constantly improving and growing." From, "People like me don't get ahead," to, "People like me are rewriting the rules every day." This isn't blind optimism, it's reframing. And when you repeat a reframed belief often enough, your brain starts to wire it in as the new default. Step 5. Repeat it until it replaces the old narrative. Your brain believes what you tell it repeatedly. Just like a path in the forest gets clearer the more you walk it, the neural pathways in your brain strengthen with repetition. So your job now is simple: repeat the new belief daily. You can do this through affirmations, speak your new belief every morning. Journaling, write it out. Add examples from your day that reinforce it. Visualizations, picture yourself acting from this new belief. For example, if your belief is, I am worthy of success, then visualize a version of you walking into opportunities with confidence, applying, speaking, trying, succeeding. The more you see it, speak it, and feel it, the more your brain will accept it as truth. Let's see Clara's story. Clara grew up hearing her parents argue about money. She learned to believe money is stressful and dangerous. As an adult, every time she earned more, she would spend it quickly. Subconsciously, she didn't want to hold on to something that caused so much stress. But once she identified the belief, she challenged it. Is money itself dangerous, or just the way my parents handled it? Can money actually be a tool for freedom, peace, and generosity? She created a new belief. I am safe with money. I am learning to use it wisely. Today, Clara has savings, peace of mind, and a healthier relationship with wealth because she rewired her belief at the root. Let's do a quick exercise together. Write down 3 limiting beliefs you've caught in yourself recently. For each one, ask, is it always true? Where did it come from? What is it costing me? Flip it. Create a new belief that empowers, supports, and encourages you. Say it aloud. Post it where you can see it daily. This isn't a one-time fix. Rewiring your brain is a daily practice. But over time, you'll notice a shift. Thoughts you once believed without question will start to sound strange, outdated, no longer you. That's when you know the rewiring is working. Chapter 5. Creating the identity of the person you want to become. Now that you've identified and challenged your limiting beliefs, you're standing at a powerful crossroads. One path leads back to the familiar, the identity you've been carrying, shaped by old fears, past mistakes, and inherited doubts. The other leads forward, toward the version of you that is free, intentional, and growing. And the bridge between the two is identity creation. What is identity? Your identity is the collection of stories you tell yourself about who you are. It's not just your name, job, or personality, it's your beliefs about what you're capable of, what you deserve, what's possible for you, what kind of person you are. And here's the good news: identity is not fixed. It's flexible, expandable, moldable. The key is to become conscious of the identity you've been living under, and then intentionally build a new one. Step 1. Define the future you. Start with this question: who do I want to become? Not what do I want to do or have, but who do I want to be? Do you want to be a confident communicator? A disciplined, healthy person? A successful entrepreneur? A loving, present parent? A creative, expressive artist? Write it down clearly. I want to be the kind of person who understands. For example, I want to be the kind of person who finishes what they start. I want to be the kind of person who takes bold action despite fear. I want to be the kind of person who values health and moves every day. This is the foundation of your new identity. Step 2. Shift from outcome to identity. Most people set goals like, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to make $100,000. I want to read 20 books. But these are outcomes, not identities. A more powerful shift is, I am the kind of person who takes care of my body. I am the kind of person who creates value and earns abundantly. I am a lifelong learner who reads consistently. Why does this work? Because you act in alignment with who you believe you are. If you believe you're not a morning person, you'll keep hitting snooze. If you believe you're bad with money, you'll avoid financial responsibility. But if you start believing and saying, I am becoming someone who makes healthy, wealthy decisions, your brain begins to follow that script. Step 3. Identify habits that support the new identity. Now take your new identity and ask, what are the small, daily behaviors of someone who already lives this way? Example. If your identity is, I'm a healthy person, your habits might include drinking water first thing, taking walks, or stretching before bed. If your identity is, I'm a creator, your habits might include journaling, filming, or designing every day, even for 15 minutes. If your identity is, I'm confident, you might practice speaking up once a day, even when it's uncomfortable. These micro-actions create proof for your brain. They reinforce the new identity through experience. Step 4. Repeat and reinforce. Here's where most people fail. They try something once, don't feel different, and go back to the old self. But your brain needs consistency to believe something new. So ask yourself, how can I remind myself of my new identity daily? Can I set phone reminders? Can I start my day with affirmations? Can I visualize this version of myself each morning? Create an environment that reinforces your new self. Surround yourself with people who support your growth. Consume content aligned with who you're becoming. Celebrate every small win that proves your identity is shifting. Remember, confidence isn't built by shouting affirmations in the mirror, it's built by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you act in alignment with your future self, you add a brick to the foundation of your new identity. Let's try a powerful exercise right now. Write this down. I am becoming the kind of person who understands because I value on. Every day I prove this to myself by For example, I am becoming the kind of person who takes bold action because I value growth. Every day I prove this to myself by doing one thing that scares me. I am becoming the kind of person who lives with purpose because I value meaning. Every day I prove this by reflecting on my intentions. This kind of self-talk isn't cheesy, it's strategic. You're training your brain to recognize this new version of you as real. Here's how it all works together. Belief, I'm someone who can grow and change. Action, you take small steps that align with that belief. Evidence, you see progress, even tiny wins. Reinforcement, you start to trust this new identity. This loop builds momentum. And momentum is how transformation happens. Not overnight, but with consistent shifts in behavior, self-perception, and courage. Your identity shapes what you say yes to, what you say no to, how you respond to setbacks, what risks you take, what you believe is possible. So choose an identity that pulls you forward, not one that holds you back. Chapter 6. Design systems and environments that support your new identity. So far, you've identified and dismantled limiting beliefs. You've begun to craft the identity of the person you want to become. But here's a hard truth. Willpower will only get you so far. To make lasting change, you need to build an environment and system that naturally supports your transformation, even on the days you feel tired, doubtful, or distracted. In this chapter, we'll explore how to create a structure that doesn't rely on motivation, but makes it easier and more automatic to live as your best self. Why systems are more powerful than goals. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." What does this mean? It means that even if your goal is to be productive, if you don't have a system to manage your time, you'll get distracted. Even if your goal is to be healthy, if your kitchen is filled with junk food, you'll keep making the easy, unhealthy choice. Systems are the habits, processes, and routines that support your identity, even when life gets messy. Step 1. Build micro-habits that reinforce your identity. Let's take your new identity from Chapter 5 and pair it with a habit system. Example identity. I am the kind of person who is consistent and committed. Micro-habits to support this. Start your day with 10 minutes of focused journaling. Set a 25-minute timer and do a focused task with no distractions. Check in every evening with 3 wins for the day. Don't start with huge changes. Instead ask, what is the smallest possible habit I can do daily that proves I am this person? This helps reduce resistance. The easier the habit, the more likely it becomes automatic and reinforces your identity. Step 2. Create triggers and anchors. Habits don't happen in isolation. They're triggered by cues in your environment. You can use this to your advantage. Examples. Leave your journal on your pillow so you see it before bed. Place your workout clothes next to your toothbrush. Set calendar reminders that align with your values. Create a vision board and place it on your wall or desktop. These visual or environmental cues become anchors that keep your brain on track, gently nudging you toward your chosen behaviors. Step 3. Optimize your environment for success. Your environment is always influencing you, either helping or hurting your progress. Ask yourself, does my physical space support the person I'm becoming? Does my digital space align with my focus? Do the people around me encourage or discourage my growth? Examples. If you're building a writer identity, make sure your writing space is clean, comfortable, and inspiring. If you want to reduce distractions, turn off social media notifications or use apps like FocusMate or Freedom. If you want to eat better, organize your fridge and pantry so that healthy choices are the easiest ones. This isn't about perfection, it's about reducing friction. Make the right choice the easy choice. Step 4. Surround yourself with identity-boosting people. Jim Rohn famously said, You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're trying to rewire your beliefs and step into a new identity, but everyone around you doubts, criticizes, or mocks that change, your growth will feel like swimming against a current. Seek out supportive communities, growth-minded conversations, mentors, even virtual ones through books, podcasts, or YouTube. People who already embody what you're aiming for. When you're surrounded by others who believe in self-growth, their presence reinforces your identity. It feels normal to stretch, evolve, and improve. Step 5. Build a system of accountability. Success thrives on accountability, not pressure or shame, but gentle commitment. You can create accountability by tracking your habits in a journal or app, sharing your goals with a trusted friend, posting your progress on social media, if that motivates you, using public challenges or communities, like 30-day productivity challenges. The key isn't to be perfect, it's to stay engaged. Every small check-in reminds your brain, this is who I am now. Step 6. Review and refine weekly. Set aside 15 to 30 minutes per week to check in with yourself. How did I live out my new identity this week? What worked? What didn't? What can I improve or simplify? Am I creating space for growth, or cluttering it? This simple habit of reflection keeps your identity system fresh. It gives you space to notice patterns, adjust strategies, and keep moving forward, consciously. Motivation is temporary. Inspiration fades. But systems and environments stick. They create a kind of machine that runs even when your energy is low. When your day is full, your system is still there. When your confidence wavers, your environment still nudges you forward. That's the beauty of building around identity. You don't need to hustle your way through change, you just align your life with who you're becoming. Your brain craves patterns and consistency. When you show up with structure, even loosely, your brain relaxes and adapts. You're creating a new normal, where success is not a surprise, but a result of systems and surroundings that support you. Chapter 7. Letting go of the old you, releasing the final anchor. Up until now we've gone deep. You've discovered your limiting beliefs, learned where they come from, spotted them in real time, and even dismantled them. You've started crafting a new identity and building systems and environments to support it. That's massive progress. But today we talk about something essential, and often overlooked, in the transformation journey. Letting go of the version of you that believed those old stories. Because here's the truth, you can't step fully into the new if you're still clinging to the old. Think of it this way, our limiting beliefs don't just live in our thoughts, they shape our sense of self. And when we start changing those beliefs, it creates emotional friction. You may find yourself questioning, who am I without this belief? What happens if I fail as this new me? What if I change and people don't accept me anymore? These are valid fears. The old identity, even with its limitations, was familiar. It gave you rules. It gave you an explanation even if it was painful. And that's why many people self-sabotage. Because deep down they haven't let go of the person they used to be. Letting go can feel like betrayal of your past, your younger self, or even the people who influenced your beliefs. But here's something powerful. Letting go is not betrayal. It's evolution. You're not rejecting who you were. You're honoring that version of you by growing beyond it. Imagine an old coat you've outgrown. It served you once. It kept you warm. But now it's tight, uncomfortable, and no longer matches who you are. The smart thing isn't to keep wearing it out of guilt. The smart thing is to thank it and hang it up for good. What are you still holding on to? Let's get specific. Take a moment to reflect on this question. What aspects of your old identity are you afraid to release? Maybe it's the belief that you're just not a confident person. The idea that you're not cut out for success. A fear that if you succeed you'll be judged. The comfort of being underestimated. All of these things might have protected you at one point, but now they are anchors. If you've ever tried to sail forward with an anchor still dragging, you know how it feels. Slow. Frustrating. Like you're stuck in place, even though you're doing everything right. Letting go is not just mental, it can be physical and symbolic too. Here are a few ways you can make this process real and powerful. Write a letter to your old self. Thank them. Acknowledge the pain. Then express that you're ready to move on. Burn the letter. Or tear it up. Let it go. Create a letting go affirmation. Something like, I release the old stories that no longer define me. I am free to become who I truly am. Repeat this every day, especially when you feel fear or self-doubt creeping in. Clean your space. Physical space is symbolic. Clean your room, your phone, your inbox. Delete what no longer aligns. Curate your world to reflect your current identity. Let me ask you directly. Are you still looking for evidence to support the old version of you? Are you scanning your environment for proof that your transformation isn't working? That you're still not confident, or still not disciplined, or still not enough? That's normal. The brain looks for familiarity, but you don't have to give in to that pattern. You are not obligated to be the person you were yesterday. This isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily act of bravery. Every time you choose the new belief over the old one, you're letting go. Every time you act in alignment with your new identity, even when it feels awkward, you're proving that the past does not define you. And that brings us to a beautiful truth. You are allowed to outgrow people, environments, and even parts of yourself. You've done the work to see the lies you were telling yourself. You've chosen a new direction. Now it's time to loosen your grip on who you were so you can fully embrace who you're becoming. Let go. Not because the past was bad, but because the future is waiting. Take a deep breath and feel how light the journey becomes when you travel without unnecessary weight. Chapter 8. Embracing Discomfort, the Secret to Growth. You've come a long way on this journey, from identifying your limiting beliefs to creating your new identity and letting go of the old one. But now we need to address something unavoidable, something many people fear and few talk about: discomfort. Because here's the truth. Discomfort isn't the enemy. Discomfort is the signpost that you're on the right path. Let's dive into why that is, and how to embrace discomfort as a powerful ally in your self-development journey. Why growth requires discomfort. Let's start with a simple truth. Growth and comfort cannot exist in the same space. Every time you've grown, emotionally, physically, professionally, you've had to go through some kind of discomfort. Maybe it was uncertainty. Maybe it was failure. Maybe it was rejection. But that discomfort wasn't punishment. It was proof that you were expanding your limits. Think of muscles. If you want to get stronger, you must challenge your body. You lift heavier weights. You feel sore. That discomfort? It's your body rebuilding itself, stronger. The same principle applies to your mind and your identity. Comfort zones feel good, but they're sneaky. They don't just protect you, they trap you. They keep you stuck in the known even when the known isn't what you want. Here's the paradox. We say we want change, but we also crave predictability. We want transformation, but we fear what it demands. And that's okay. That's human. But if you truly want to step into your highest self, you need to stop equating discomfort with danger. Because the danger isn't discomfort. The danger is staying the same. Let's shift your mindset. Instead of thinking, I'm nervous, so I shouldn't do this. Try, I'm nervous, this means I'm growing. When you feel discomfort, don't run from it. Don't numb it with distraction, food, scrolling, or overthinking. Sit with it. Observe it. Lean into it. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to teach me? What am I afraid will happen? What would the version of me I'm becoming do next? Discomfort is information. And when you learn to interpret it, it becomes power. Let's talk real life. Public speaking, your heart races. Your hands sweat. You want to disappear. But every time you step up and speak, you gain confidence. Not by avoiding fear, but by walking through it. Starting a new habit. Whether it's waking up earlier, going to the gym, or meditating, the first few weeks feel awkward and unnatural. That's normal. Discomfort means your brain is rewiring. Setting boundaries, saying no when you're used to pleasing everyone feels wrong. But that tension? That's the discomfort of self-respect growing roots. If you avoid these moments, you avoid growth. Now, let's be clear, discomfort is not the same as suffering. Discomfort is temporary tension in service of your growth. Suffering is ongoing pain caused by avoidance or denial. Think of discomfort like friction. It polishes you. But suffering? That's what happens when you refuse to move. So when you feel discomfort on this journey, when you feel the resistance, the awkwardness, the fear, remind yourself, this is the price of the life I say I want. Here's a radical idea. What if the discomfort you're feeling is not a red flag, but a green light? What if discomfort is pointing you directly toward the next breakthrough? When you shift your mindset from avoid discomfort to follow the discomfort, your world changes. Suddenly, fear becomes a signal. Tension becomes feedback. And you stop waiting for permission to grow. You become unstoppable. Try this. Every day, do one thing that makes you uncomfortable, on purpose. It doesn't have to be big. Could be speaking up in a meeting, posting a vulnerable thought online, asking for help, saying no without explaining. These small moments train your nervous system to tolerate growth. And over time, the things that once terrified you will feel ordinary. That's how confidence is built. Not through comfort, but through repeated victories in discomfort. Let's recap. Discomfort is not the enemy, it's the gateway. Growth never feels comfortable while it's happening. The people who achieve transformation are the ones who learn to dance with discomfort, not avoid it. So the next time you feel that inner resistance, that fear, that unease, smile. Because it means you're getting closer. You are stepping into the unknown. You're building something new. You are becoming the version of yourself you've always imagined. Let discomfort walk beside you. Not as a threat, but as a mentor. Your next level is on the other side. Conclusion and final thoughts. Your journey has just begun. We've reached the end of this episode, but in truth, this isn't an ending at all. It's the beginning of something powerful, something deeply personal, and something that no one else can walk for you. Your journey of becoming. Throughout this series, we've uncovered what holds us back. The silent, often invisible limiting beliefs that shape our decisions, our identity, and our potential. But more importantly, we've built a roadmap to move beyond them. Let's take a moment to reflect on what you've just done. You've learned how to identify the internal voices that have kept you small. Trace their origin, not to blame but to understand. Observe those beliefs in real time, in the moments they try to limit you. Break them apart with truth, with presence, and with courage. Choose who you want to become, not by chance but by design. Create systems and environments that support the person you're becoming. Embrace discomfort not as punishment but as a signal you're growing. Each chapter brought you closer to reclaiming something that was always yours, your power to choose. Let's be honest, listening is the easy part. It's passive, it's safe. But transformation only happens when knowledge turns into action. So here's the real question. What are you going to do today that reflects the person you're becoming? Not next week, not when it's convenient, today. Maybe it's having that tough conversation. Maybe it's setting a boundary. Maybe it's waking up early to finally start that habit. Or maybe it's just sitting quietly with yourself, breathing and saying, I'm ready to change. Whatever your first step is, take it. Because waiting for the perfect moment is just another limiting belief in disguise. There will be setbacks. There will be days when the old identity tries to take over. And that's okay. Growth is never linear. But if you stay aware, if you stay committed, you will notice the changes. You'll respond differently. You'll think differently. And one day you'll look back and realize, I'm not that person anymore, and I never want to be again. The best part of all of this? You're no longer a passive character in your own story. You're the author. You hold the pen. You choose the plot. And every time you choose to act from a place of courage, of awareness, of intention, you write a better chapter than the one before. So, as we close this episode, I want to thank you, truly, for investing this time into yourself. That choice alone separates you from the majority. It means you care. It means you believe there's something greater inside you, waiting to be uncovered. And that belief, that spark, that's everything. Remember, you are not your past. You are not your doubts. You are not your fear. You are possibility. You are resilience. You are becoming. And your best chapter hasn't even been written yet. Until next time, keep growing, keep showing up, and above all, keep believing in the person you're becoming.